Good morning, students. Today we are going to start Book 2, Chapter 8, Company Accounts, Accounting for Share Capital, Part 1. So, company accounts. Here you are seeing many images of companies like Google, Microsoft, Twitter, Sony, Facebook, Samsung, etc. etc. And these companies make their annual reports at the end of the accounting year. So, what is the meaning of company? A company is an entity incorporated by a group of persons through the process of law for undertaking a business. It normally has a share capital divided into units called share, the owners of which are known as members or shareholders. So, as per Company Act 2013, Section 2 of 20, company means a company incorporated under this act or any previous company law. In the words of Professor Henny, a company is an artificial person created by law having separate entity with a perpetual succession and a common seal. So what are the characteristics of a company? Incorporation. A company is an artificial person created through the process of law. That means Company Act either under the present Company Act 2013 or under any previous Companies Acts. Next is separate legal entity. A company is an artificial person having a legal entity separate from its shareholders. Now next is artificial person. In the eyes of law, it's an artificial person. That means a company can own property, enter into contracts, conduct business, sue, or to be sued for its debts and actions. Perpetual existence. A company has a perpetual succession. That means its existence is not affected by the death, lunacy, or bankruptcy of its members or of its shareholders. The life of a company comes to an end only by winding up through the process of law. Limited liability. Liability of its member is limited to the value of shares subscribed by them or amount guaranteed to be paid at the time of winding up in case of company limited by the guarantee. Transferability of shares. Shares of a company are freely transferable except in case of private companies. Transfer of share of private company is regulated by its article of association. Then management and ownership. Company is basically managed by all the members who are elected representatives called directors. The management and the owners are separate. Common seal. A company may or may not have a common seal. If it has a common seal, it is affixed to all the important documents of the company. Now, what is the difference between the partnership and the company? First is mode of formation. Company is set up by an agreement among the partners under the Indian Partnership Act 1932, whereas company is registered under the Company Act 2013. Regulatory Act. Partnership comes under Indian Partnership Act 1932, whereas company comes under Companies Act 2013. Number of members. In case of partnership, minimum members are 2 and the maximum are 50. Whereas in case of company, minimum members are 7 and the maximum members are unlimited. But if it is a private company, minimum members will be 2 but not more than 200, excluding its present or past employees member. Next is liability. In case of partnership, liability of a partner is unlimited, whereas in case of company, it is limited. Distribution of profit. In case of partnership, profit is distributed either as per the partnership deed or it is distributed equally. But in case of company, it depends on the article of association or the director as to what share of profit, that is dividend, is to be distributed among the shareholders. Next is audit. In case of partnership, audit is not mandatory, but in case of company, it is mandatory. Management. In case of partnership, business may be managed by all the partners or any of them acting for all. But in case of company, business is managed only by the directors who are elected by the shareholders. Next is transfer of share. A partner cannot transfer his share to any other person without the consent of other partner. Whereas in case of company, except in case of a private company, normally transfer of share is not restricted. Next is business. A partnership can carry on any business if all the partners are agree. Whereas in case of company, it can carry on only that business which is permitted by the objects clause of memorandum of association. Next is winding up. A partnership may be wound up by an agreement or by an order of the court in case the firm is unstable to pay its debts. The Insolvency Act will apply. Whereas in case of company, it can be wound up only by carrying out the process prescribed in the Companies Act 2013. And the next is stability. It is affected by the death, retirement, or insolvency of the partners. But in case of company, shareholders' death, insolvency, or transfer of share do not affect the continuity of the company. Now, types of company or the kinds of company. Company are of 3 types. One is one-person company. Second is private company. Third is public company. So one-person company. According to Company Act 2013, Section 2 of 62, one-person company means a company which has only one person as member. According to Rule 3 of the Companies Incorporation Rule 2014, number 1, a natural person being an Indian citizen and the resident of India can form one-person company. Number 2, one person can form only one-person company or become nominee of any one such company. Number 3, it can be formed for profitable purpose, not for charitable purpose. Next, it cannot carry out non-banking financial investments activities, including investments in securities of anybody corporate. Next, its paid up share capital is not more than 50 lakh. And its average turnover of 3 years should not exceed rupees 2 crores. One-person company should have at least one director, but not more than 15 directors. So these all are the features of one-person company. Now, in case of private company, A private company is one which has a minimum paid up share capital as may be prescribed and which by its article of association. Number one, restricts the right to transfer its shares, if any. Number two, except in case of one person company, limits the number of its members, excluding its present or past employee member to 200. Next is prohibited any invitation to public to subscribe for any security of the companies. A private company has minimum 2 directors, but not more than 15 directors. And the name of a private company ends with the word private company. And the next is the public company. Now, what will be the public companies? A public company is a company, number one, which is not a private company. Number two, has a minimum paid up capital as may be prescribed in the prospectus. And number three is a private company being a subsidiary of a company which is not a private company. So in other words, we can say, in simple words, we can say a public company must have at least 7 members. There is no restriction on the maximum number of persons. A public company should have at least 3 directors, but not more than 15 directors. The name of public company ends with the word limited. A public company can raise its capital by issue of shares to the public for subscription. Now, what is the difference between one person company, private company, and the public company? So, number of members. In case of one person company, there is only one member. In case of private company, minimum members will be 2, but the maximum will be 100. In case of public company, minimum members will be 7, but there is no limit for the maximum number of people. Transfer of shares. It is not applicable in case of one person company. In case of private company, article of association restrict the transfer of shares. In case of public company, transfer of share is usually without any restriction. Next is prospectus. It is not applicable in case of one person company. Prospectus need not be issued. In other words, it may or may not be issued in case of private company. But in case of public company, prospectus must be issued to invite public to subscribe for shares. Next is subscription of shares. Shares cannot be offered to the public in case of one person company. Shares can be offered to the public in case of private company. Shares can be offered to public in case of public company. Article of association. It is not necessary in case of one person company and the private company, but in case of public company. Table 5 gives the Companies Act 2013 may be adopted. Otherwise, it can have its own article of association having clauses different from those given in table F of the Company Act 2013. Now, number of directors. It must have at least one director, but not more than 15 in case of one person company. But in case of private company, it must have at least 2 directors, but not more than 15. And in case of public company, it must have at least 3 directors, but not more than 15. Next is allotment of share. Not applicable in case of one person company. In case of private company, shares may be allotted as the directors decide, not to the general public. In case of public company, shares can be allotted only if minimum subscription has been received. Now, public deposit. It cannot invite and accept deposits from the public. And the same is in case of private company also. But in case of public company, it can invite and accept deposit from public. Now, next is name. The word OPC is used as part of the name in case of one person company. The word private limited are used as part of name in case of private company, and in case of public company, the word limited is used as part of the name. So these are the differences among the one person company, private company, and the public company. Students, you all must learn, and it is to be clear what is the difference amongst all the three kind of companies. Now next is incorporation of a company. The process of incorporation of a company can be divided into four principal stages. One is promotion, second is incorporation or registration of a company, third is capital subscription, and the fourth is commencement of business. So promotion. This is the first stage of company's incorporation. A person or a group of persons agree to start business in the form of a company. These people are called promoters of the company. Then incorporation or registration of a company. A company is incorporated following the procedure prescribed in the Company Act 2013. The promoters, after getting the name of the proposed company approved from the registrar of the companies, submit memorandum of association, article of association, consent of first director to act as directors, and a declaration that the requirement of the Companies Act have been compiled with. The registration of companies thereafter issue certificate of incorporation. Capital formation. A company has to obtain commencement of business certificate within 180 days of its incorporation. A company has to submit a declaration to the effect that every subscriber to the memorandum of association has been paid the value of the share agreed to be taken by him. Then after, the commencement of the business can be started. Now, some important documents like prospectus. A public company issue a document called prospectus, in which terms and condition of the issue are stated, along with the purpose of which the proceeds of the issue of security shall be issued. Or in other words, we can say a prospectus is basically a formal and legal document issued by a body corporate which acts for inviting offers from the public for subscription or purchase of any securities. Every public company is entitled to issue the prospectus for its shares or debentures. Now, what is minimum subscription? As per Company Act 2013, Section 39 of 1 and provisions of SEBI, that is Security and Exchange Board of India, the minimum shares the company needs to get from the public out of the total issue by the date of closure. Presently, every company needs to raise 90% of the issued amount. Else the company shall refund the whole amount received within 15 days from the closure of the issue. Next is preliminary expenses. These are the expenses incurred for incorporating the companies, such as registration fees, legal expense, public issue expenses. Later on in the same year, these expenses are written off from the security premium reserve permitted by section 52 of 2 of Company Act 2013. If the security premium reserve is not available, then in the same year, the amount of preliminary expense is written off from the statement of profit and loss account as per the accounting standard 26. Now, what is the share capital of a company? Share capital means the amount that a company receives towards the share capital from the issue of share. Both equity share and preference shares. Share is a unit in which the capital of a company is divided. Each share has its nominal or face value. Holder of these shares are called shareholders or members of the company. So in other words, we can say share capital includes the amount of equity share and the preference share as well. The total amount of share capital is divided into small units. That small denominations may be of rupee 1, rupee 2, rupee 5, rupee 10 or rupees 100. And each such unit is called share. And these shares are issued to the public, and public subscribes the shares, and the people who subscribe the share are called shareholders or the members of the company. So students, next is kinds or classes of shares. So as I told you, according to section 43 of Company Act 2013, share capital is divided into two parts: preference shares and the equity shares. What are the preference shares? According to section 43B of Company Act 2013, preference shares carry two preferential rights. Number one is the right to receive dividend, which is to be paid as fixed amount, which may either be free of or subject to income tax before it is paid to equity shareholders. And second is right to receive repayment of capital on the winding up of the company before equity share. So that means basically preference shareholders have two rights. Number one, right to receive the dividend before the equity shareholders. Number two, right to receive the repayment of capital at the time of winding up of the company before the equity shareholders. Now the question arises, what are the equity shares? In simple word, equity shares are those shares which are not the preference shares. So that means if shareholder is not having the right to receive the dividend earlier before the preference shares, and not having the right to receive the repayment of capital before the preference shareholders, the share will become the equity shares. Now classes of preference shares. Preference shares are divided in four groups with reference to dividend, with reference to participation in surplus profits, with reference to convertibility, and with reference to redemption. So students, from the examination point of view, this is very important. So please learn these type of preference shares. So now with reference to dividend. With reference to dividend, preference shares can be of two types: cumulative preference shares and non-cumulative preference shares. So cumulative preference shares are those preference shares which carry the right to receive arrear of dividend before dividend is paid to the equity shareholders. And non-cumulative preference shares are those preference shares which do not carry the right to receive arrear of dividend. Next is with reference to participation in surplus profits. These are of two types: participating preference shares and non-participating preference shares. So participating preference shares as per the article of association of a company may provide that after dividend has been paid to equity shareholders, the holder of preference share will also have a right to participate in the remaining profit. The preference share carry this right are called participating preference shares. And the non-participating preference shares are those which do not carry the right to participate in the profits remaining after equity shareholders. And the next is with reference to convertibility. These are also of two types: convertible preference shares and non-convertible preference shares. Convertible preference shares are those preference shares which carry a right to be converted into equity shares, whereas non-convertible preference shares do not carry a right to be converted into equity shares. Now next is with reference to redemption. These are also of two kinds: redeemable preference shares and irredeemable preference shares. Redeemable preference shares are those preference shares which are redeemed by the company at the time of specified, not exceeding 20 years before from the date of issue, for their repayment or earlier. The repayment of amount is termed as redemption. And irredeemable preference shares are those preference shares the amount of which can be returned by the company to the holder of such shares when the company is wound up. The Company Act 2013 does not permit issue of irredeemable preference shares. Now next is, what is the difference between the preference shares and the equity shares? Here we are seeing 8 differences: right to dividend, rate of dividend, arrear of dividend, convertibility, redemption, voting rights, redemption of capital, and right to participate in the management. Now one by one we'll see what is the difference between the preference shares and the equity shares. Now right to dividend. Dividend is paid on preference share before it is paid on equity share. And dividend is paid on equity share after it is paid on preference shares. In simple words, preference shareholders will get dividend prior to equity shareholders. Next is rate of dividend. In case of preference share, it is fixed, but in case of equity share, rate of dividend is proposed by the board of directors every year. Arrear of dividend. In case of preference share, if preference shares are cumulative preference share, arrear of dividend is paid before dividend is paid to equity shareholders. Otherwise not. In case of equity share, dividend is declared every year. In case dividend is not declared during the year, it is not accumulated to be paid in the coming year. Next is convertibility. Preference share may be converted to equity share if the term of issue so provide, and equity shares are never convertible. Next is redemption. Preference shares are redeemed on the due date, but equity share can buy back only. Voting right. Preference shares have voting right only in special circumstances, otherwise they are not having this right. But equity shareholders have voting right in all the circumstances. Next is repayment of capital. On winding up, the preference share capital is repaid before the equity share capital is paid. But on winding up, equity share capital is repaid after the preference share capital is paid. And the next is right to participate in management. Preference shareholders do not have a right to participate in the management of the company, but equity shareholders have a right to participate in the management of the company. So students, you all should be clear what is the difference between the preference shares and the equity share. And from examination point of view also, this is very, very important to learn. So thank you, students.